Hello, my Jaegerist, Jaeger here, back to another Roblox guide video. And if you clicked on this video, you must be asking yourself, how do I progress as a swordsman in C1? Honestly, don't worry guys, I got you. Before we get into today's video, I would also just like to add that I will be doing a 2x drop giveaway when we reach 2,000 subscribers. Just a quick little reminder, we're at 1.5k. We're getting there. If this interests you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would even maybe hit that bell so you don't miss out on new guides and the giveaway, if that at all interests you. With all that corporate mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's get into sword progression in C1. Starting off as a level 1 at Starter Island, you only actually have one choice for a sword, and if you come over here, it's of course... Ooh, just got stuck on that. It's of course at this katana seller over here. To buy the katana, you're going to need 2.5k money, and in order to get the funds, you just kind of come over here, and you just go kill these guys repeatedly. And then once you get strong enough, you can also grind for funds right here at this thief boss. Okay, looks like he wants a piece of me. Anyhow, after you've leveled up a bit, next you need to head over to Snow Island for your next sword. And once you make it over to Snow Island, this is where the Dark Blade Seller is, and he's just going to be right there. So you got the Dark Blade here for 250,000 money and 150 gems. Once again, to get all your funds, you just kill the NPCs over here, and yeah, it shouldn't take you too long, all things considered. After you get the sword at Snow Island, you come over to Shibuya Station. That's going to be the location of your next sword. You head over here, and this is where the Griffin Seller is. So for 650,000, 650 gems, you get the Griffin. In case you guys don't know, that is Shank's signature sword. And honestly, this is actually just straight up a really solid sword at the beginning of the game. Let me go and equip it just to give you guys an example here. Griffin. So if we come over here, you can see that we have two skills right here, the Z and the X move. Now, the Z move, all things considered, I mean, it's okay, but it's not very good, let's be honest. Now, the real bread and butter of this sword is its X move. If you look, yeah, it's a great AoE skill, and it's also just straight up the first AoE sword that you can get inside of this progression guide. And yeah, so it's honestly just overall a really solid sword at the very beginning before you start getting all your other swords. Now, unfortunately, this is the end of the easy, straightforward swords. For your next sword, you need to head over to Sailor Island. We come over here, go to Sailor Island. The map at Sailor Island has changed in the most recent update, and if Jaeger's being honest, I don't really like it. I think that everything is way too spaced apart. Like, what was wrong with the old map design? We used to have everything so compact and close together, so I knew where everything was. Anyhow, the next sword is going to be up here. If we can watch Jaeger do his crappy parkour, and it's going to be over here at the Solo Hunter Trainer. At this point, I recommend to have your health stat as high as it can go, just so that you can take the most amount of damage. Just get this done as quick as possible. Now, after you get that part done, the second part of the quest, you have to kill 750 enemies. And the way that I recommend doing this is if you go over here and go to Shinjuku Island, and you put all your stats into power, what you can do is if you line this up, you can use the C move to summon waves, and you kill like all the enemies over here. So in total, let's see here. Yeah, there's 5 enemies right here. Now that you finish the second part of the quest, you're going to be on to the third part of the quest, which entails that you have to deal 75 million damage. Now, I recommend just equipping whatever your strongest weapon is and just AFK farming mobs using your AoE skill. For me, that's going to look like my C skill. You know, it's that big AoE. For you, it might be a V skill, but just go ahead and do that. And honestly, I just recommend AFKing it. I mean, you can get that done in like 10 minutes or so. So yeah, and that's going to complete the third part of the quest. Once you did the damage, now you have to go kill the Solo Jeez, I said solar twice, guys. This is like my 15th, 100th take, guys. So you gotta go kill the solo hunter boss 15 times. Now, I mean, the solo hunter boss is over here at Sailor Island, and if you come over here, yeah, see, he's right there, guys. You come over here, and you kill him 15 times. Once you finish with the damage part of the quest, now you have to kill the solo hunter boss 15 times. Now the solo hunter boss is going to spawn right here. And as you can see, it says Vampire King. So the reason why it does that is because every single time that you kill the boss, it alternates. So you kill the solo hunter and then the Vampire King spawns. Because of this, it kind of makes the grinding of this quest take a little bit. So I recommend just server hopping, killing Jinwoo, and then you just find a new server. Anyhow, once you get 15 kills, you still aren't done because now you actually got to go buy the sword. And to obtain it, you need to have 2.5 million gold, 7,500 gems, 3 dark rings, which have a drop chance of 17.5%, 6 abyss edge, which has a 7% drop rate, and 1 shadow heart, which has a 2% drop rate. As I said, all these drops are dropped by the solo hunter boss, and since you had to kill him 15 times, you should already have a decent amount of those items. For the next sword, we have to head over to the top of Dungeon Island. Now, once you make it to Dungeon Island, you will see that there is going to be 2 NPCs at the top of this little area. You have the evolution for Jinwoo's sword, which I don't recommend getting just because it's inferior to what the evolution for this next sword that we're about to get. So if you come over here, this is how you end up getting the Shadow Sword, which is Shadow from Eminence in the Shadow. Honestly, kind of goated, but with that being said, you're going to need 10 million money, 15,000 gems, 1 atomic core, 4 shadow essence, 8 void seeds, and then 20 umbra capsules. Now you might be asking, since shadow just isn't a boss that spawns around the map, how are you going to get these drops? And I am glad you asked, dear viewer, because if you come over here, go to dungeons, then you can go to the Sid dungeon. You just go in here, pick easy, and then you can grind the drops from there. Something to note is that the dungeon also drops something called dungeon coins. Dungeon coins can be spent over at the dungeon shop here to just go ahead and straight up buy anything that you're missing. So by the time that you grind out a good bit of dungeon, you probably have some dungeon coins to just go ahead and buy whatever it is that you're missing, whether it's the atomic core, shadow essence, void seed, umbra capsule, whatever. Now, once you get the sword, we still aren't done because this begins the trend of swords having a mastery that you have to do. So if we come over to Starter Island, and you head over to the very back, say hi to Madoka while you're at it, and you come over here and you talk to Sid again. Here is where you get your mastery. This mastery quest has 6 total parts to it. First one, you need to deal 1 billion damage. And since we already did the Shadow quest, not Shadow, since we already did the Sungjin Woo quest, you guys know the deal. It's the same old, same old. You know, you get your damage in. Once you finish your damage, you need to kill 1,250 NPCs, just like before. Head over to whatever island you want and AFK farm them. For the purposes of this guide, I'll just say go to Shinjuku Island, do the Quake Fruit, and just go from there. Part of the quest, you need to defeat 150 bosses. Now, you actually have 2 choices on how you want to do this. You could just go and fight all the bosses on the map, which honestly, at this point, you're probably not strong enough to kill all the bosses on the map, so I recommend doing the second option, which is if we head over to Boss Island over here, we can go and spawn Saber. You know, for 1 boss key, 100,000 money, and 175 gems, we can just spawn her, click auto, and as you can see, only 2.5 million health. That's like nothing. So yeah, it's pretty simple to just quickly grind all your boss kills, and yeah, it's just fairly simple. Now, after you get those boss kills, you need to head back over to Dungeon Island, and you need to fight the Sid dungeon on easy 10 times. Now, this could be a pain in the butt because you already grinded dungeon. I know that when I first obtained this sword, I was sick of the Sid dungeon. But don't worry, guys. There is more pain and suffering, because for the final quest, you have to beat the Shadow Dungeon 10 times on EDF. Yeah. So in total, you're going to be doing the dungeon 20 times, and probably way more than that, because you also have to take into account getting all the item drops to be able to get it. Now, I recommend AFK farming these with Tiny Task, and if you guys are at all confused on how to AFK farm with Tiny Task, just go check out my secret primordial room video, which kind of explains how to quickly get your Tiny Task set up. It's for Infinite Towers, what the guide's for, but the same principle applies all across the board for AFK farming. Now, after you complete that, you will unlock a damage boost and your F skill, which the F skill for Sid is going to be his Atomic Blast. Pretty cool, all things considered. Now that you have fully mastered the Shadow Sword, our next sword is actually just straight up an evolution of the Shadow Sword. So if you go over here and head down to, where is it? Lawless Island. This is where your next guy is going to be. So if you go all the way over to the back right corner here, let me just make my way over and not run into an arena fighter. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So to get to get the Atomic Sword, you need to have the Eminence Incarnate title, own Shadow, which, if you followed the guide, you should already have. 45,000 gems, 1 Atomic Omen, 3 Eminence Essence, 9 Shadow Remnants, 16 Magic Shards, and 80 Abyss Sigils. In order to get these drops, you need to beat the Atomic Boss, and you can actually spawn the Atomic Boss over here at the Boss Summoner for an Abyss Sigil. Now, those of you eagle-eyed listeners here, you might recognize that, yeah, to spawn the boss and to get his drops, you need to spend Abyss Sigils, and you also need Abyss Sigils to obtain the sword. Now, to get the Abyss Sigils, you just have to kill these guys. So you just come over here, go use your AoE move. I think it's still C for this guy. Yeah, so for Shadow, you'll just sit here and put your C move on auto like this, and you'll get your Abyss Sigils. That is not what I meant to do, guys. Oh, I accidentally showed them the wrath of a Whitebeard. Now, after you've done all that, you come over here and you get to claim your reward of the Atomic Sword. Now, the Atomic Sword, the Atomic Sword has a locked F skill. And as you can see, I actually don't have that skill unlocked. If you come over here, you can do a whole mastery quest. Now, it's up to you guys if you want to do the mastery quest. I I didn't, and I didn't need it to get this next sword. I thought it was a slog to get through, mainly because you got to get a mythical, what was it, a race or bloodline, something or other. You had to get something that was rare, and I just didn't feel like doing it. And by the time that I was almost done with the quest, I just ended up getting the next sword on this list. So now, if you come back over to Boss Island and head over to this NPC that spawns at the very back of Boss Island. Go over here, and we go talk to the Ice Empress, or Esdeath. So to get the Ice Queen sword, which this, by the way, guys, this is currently the best sword that you can get in C1 as of the making of this video. I doubt they're going to release more swords for C1, but you never know. As of right now, like I said, best sword that you can get in C1, and it honestly carries you quite a bit of the way through C2. But for the purpose of this video, this is just a C1 guide. Now, in order to get the Ice Queen sword, you need to have the Frost Empress title, 40,000 gems, 1 Ice Core, 4 Frozen brands, 9 Glacier Remnants, 17 Battle Shards, and 25 Frost Relics. Now, in order to get all these drops, you need to fight the Frost Empress boss. And in order to summon her, you need Frost Relics. Once again, similar thing with the Atomic Sword. The thing that you use to spawn the boss is also the item that you need to get the sword. So keep that in mind. The way that you can get the frost relics to be able to spawn the boss is actually same way that you get the stuff for a shadow. You gotta go over to any NPC in the game, but I recommend going to Lawless Island and just killing those NPCs. It's the most straightforward method and has the highest drop chance for that. So you come over here and you just spawn Ice Queen, fight her on normal. As you can see, she's got quite a bit of health. I mean, not a bit of health for me, but a bit of health for you guys. And yeah, so once again, just like the other sword, the Ice Queen sword is going to have a mastery quest that I wholeheartedly recommend that you guys complete because it's going to give you a 30% damage buff and unlock the F move for this weapon. Now, in order to get the mastery quest, you come over here to this hand, jump all the way over here to the pinky finger, and you talk to the Ice Queen. Now, the way that you get the F move mastery and to get that damage buff is that you need to get the Frostbane clan, 2 ice cores, 10 frozen brands, and 85 frost relics. This essentially is just the Ice Queen quest part 2. And after completing this, like I said, you're going to get the F move, which is actually a pretty solid move, all things considered. I mean, this is considered the best sword in C1. So up until like a month ago, this is the, for lack of a better word, the queen of the swords. So yeah, that about concludes today's video. This is C1 Sword Progression Guide. Don't forget to comment any other guides you want me to do and subscribe so that we can reach 2,000 subscribers and have that 2x drop giveaway. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.